Hey guys, I wanted to hop on here and make a quick video. I recently listened to Peter Schiff on a podcast. And for those of you that do not know who he is constantly predicting doom and gloom. He did predict the 2008 housing crash, but then again, I think he's predicted a crash every year after that as well. Let's just say he's not one to be optimistic about the housing market or anything, I guess, in life for good reason. And I like to hear other people's opinion on the market. But the reason why I wanted to come on and talk about this is because he mentioned in that podcast that the 30-year mortgage that Americans have right now is the greatest asset and protection against inflation. If you think about it, with inflation rising, the 70s, inflation was rising while unemployment was also rising along with it. So it was a horrible combination, rough time to live. Contrast that now, inflation obviously went out of control, but wages also went with that. And home prices, your biggest expense typically, actually stayed the same and has been locked in at 3% or lower for most Americans. And so it is because of that that we are not going to see a housing crash like what we saw in 2008. So I hate to put this once again to all the doomsdayers that have been sitting on the sideline now since 2017, predicting a home crash ever since then. It's not happening. In fact, we did already have a crash. It just didn't look anything like 2008, which if you look back on home crashes, that's typically how it goes. They're never alike, and that's the mistake most people made. The crash that occurred was in volume. It was not in prices. So yes, when mortgage rates went up, everyone got hammered in the real estate industry as far as the number of transactions, because again, all of the inventory went way down. And so there wasn't a whole lot of activity because nobody wants to sell their home because they have 3% mortgage rates. They don't want to go be homeless, and they don't want to have to go out and find a home that is going to be double the cost, double the interest rate. So it only makes sense that everyone just waited and stuck around with their 3% mortgage rate. So the 30-year mortgage is the greatest thing that has happened to us. I think a lot of people knock it. Yes, it does have flaws. But if you look at the other countries that do not have this, they're hurting pretty bad right now. And I'll wish that they did have a 30-year mortgage locked in at 3%. So it is the season to be thankful. And I think that all of us should be thankful for those 30-year fixed 3% interest rates that we have today.